Hey everybody. Well, we have just assembled all the documents on the checklist. We've gone through those questionnaires. We filled in the questionnaires. We have everything together to start diving into these forms. Now, we're going to go in. The first part of this is going to be reviewing the procedures and looking at how do we actually get these things filed. And in USCIS, okay, there it comes. Oh, look at this. U.S. Citizenship Immigration Service. U.S. Citizenship Info. Look at this. Hey, what? This is not the Immigration Service. No, it's not at all. But look, I can apply for a citizenship, Form N400. Hey, that's what I want to do, right? Start my application online. Okay. Well, I want to bring you guys up to date with some of these scammers because when you create your account, okay, and then you get your security question, and then they ask you a preparation fee of $169 for a form that is available for free on the internet. So this is one of those organizations then that the government warns us about, because what's true is that all these forms are available online for free. And I've actually gone in and paid this money to like look at the forms, and I have found forms that are totally out of date. Remember those expiration dates we're talking about? So you're not getting necessarily a form that's actually up to date on one of these services. So these guys are bad, bad, bad. So I wanted to make sure that you actually experience this, because when we're going through our procedures, we don't want to be messing with no paid ad here, especially USCIS Immigration Service, is no good. Okay, so that having been said, let's dive into what is true, which is these forms. Okay, we're always going to go with the forms. We're going to look at our first form, which is the I-129F. There it is, Petition for Alien Fiancé. This is where we're starting. Okay, so here we are. And when we're going to build the form, we're going to start here with the form website here. We've got download the form, download instructions for the form, and download form G1145, notification of acceptance of application / petition. So we go down the purpose of the form, the petition to bring your fiancé and that person's children to the U.S. for marriage to you, or to bring your spouse and that person's children, K-3, K-4 visas respectively, to the United States to complete processing for permanent resident status. Okay, we're doing the first one, to bring your fiancé. Number of pages, Form 3, Instruction 7. Okay, we're going to go through both the form and the instructions here. Edition date, here we go, 6/22/12. 11/23/10s are okay. 6/14/10s, 2/19/10s. Editions are also accepted. Where to file? Very important. File form I-129F at the USCIS Dallas Lockbox Facility for U.S. Postal Service. You go this one, USCIS P.O. Box 660151, Dallas, Texas 75266. This address we would use for certified mail. So certified mail, which is the way we normally send in our stuff, is going to go to this address. But here for USPS Express mail and other courier deliveries, there's a separate address here for that. And we recommend reading our lockbox filing tips before filing your petition. Okay, well, hey, let's go ahead and log in and let's see what these are. Tips for filing forms with USCIS. Please read and follow the form filing instructions. Form fees, eligibility requirements, fee waiver eligibility, required documents, and mailing addresses vary depending on the form you are filing and why you are filing. And that's true. And we're going to find out that information about the eligibility from the form instructions. So we're going to sit tight on that. Our forms are available for free on uscis.gov or by calling 1-800-870-3676. Never pay for a blank USCIS form. Thank you. Those other guys, man, come on, people. What? Complete the form completely and accurately. Okay, great. Most current version, check. Download the form, check. Handwrite your answers, use black ink. Great, except when you sign it, we want you to use blue ink so that they know that it's an original signature. Make sure entries are neat, legible, and within the space provided for sure. We use special scanners to read your forms and documents. The scanners will not properly read information that is grayed out, highlighted, or corrected using corrected fluid or tape. Now, this is true, and um, you have to be careful, right? Because we don't like to use whiteout and get the form built up with a bunch of sticky tapes or any of that stuff. We just retype the form in. You can save most of these forms, right? But the thing about highlighting, we do like to highlight. So if we have if we've got a form, or if we've got an application, then we're adding the documents of phone bills, let's say, for a fiancé. We want to highlight those phone bills with a yellow highlighter so that when they come in, they can see quickly which entries we're talking about. So, and that is okay. We've actually heard that from the USCIS that's okay. They're just concerned about highlighting. When it builds up the form, it doesn't feed through the scanner. A highlighted yellow or pink line on a document is not going to keep it from going through the scanner. If you make an error, start over with a clean form. Great. Complete the entire form. All forms have required fields. In the newer forms on our website, they're outlined in red. When these fields are left blank, we'll return your form for correction. So there are some forms that have required fields, and if you don't fill those in, they'll kick them back. We'll show you about those. I'm going to bring this up just a little bit. Submit required documents and evidence. Great, we're going to do that. Submit the documents or evidence listed in the form instructions. Supporting documents must be in English. We know that. Submit copies unless original documents are requested. That is really true. If you send an original document with your form, it will become part of the record and will not be returned to you automatically. So we're going to be sending in copies of everything for sure. Check your application, sign them, pay the correct fee, answer all questions completely, filing multiple forms, write your name and date of birth exactly the same way on each form. This is true because, when you are, let's say, you're a woman and you have a married name that you've taken, it's not your maiden name, you want to use that married name all the way through and list that maiden name as another name on all the forms the same way. Mail the form to the correct address. Thank you. Common questions. How do I know when the lockbox facility has accepted my form? This is a really good question here. We will send you an e-notification if you complete form G1145. Oh yes, we're definitely completing that form. And clip it to the front of your application package. We will do that. In all cases, we will mail you a form I-797C, notice of action, receipt notice that shows your receipt number and the office processing your case. We'll show you what one of those looks like in a little bit here. Where can I get information about fee waivers? Now, this is very important because, if you are basically living below the poverty guidelines with your income, you can qualify for a fee waiver. And why not qualify for a fee waiver, right? So let's go through the fee waiver guidance here. And we're just going to go and dive into the fee waiver guidance. Okay, let's get this thing lined up. Fee waiver guidance. U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services is funded largely by application and petition fees. Recognizing that some applicants cannot pay the filing fees, I'm just going to bring it up a little bit. USCIS established a fee waiver process for certain forms and benefit types. Demonstrated inability to pay is the only reason USCIS will approve a fee waiver. Waiving a fee for one applicant transfers the cost of processing their application to other applicants through higher fees. Therefore, USCIS carefully considers the merits of each fee waiver request before making a decision. How do I request a waiver? Read the instructions to Form I-912, Request for Fee Waiver, to see if a fee waiver is available for the form you are filing. Okay, great. Let's go ahead and dive into this now and see if there is one available for the I-129F. Okay, Request for Fee Waiver. Let's see here. This is the form instruction. And sign and include information, documents, read the form instructions carefully. Okay, well, let's read the form instructions to see which forms are actually okay to get a fee waiver on. And here's the instruction sheet here. And which applications and petitions will USCIS consider for a fee waiver? Let's blow this up. That's a little bit hot. Okay, and then let's screw it over this way. There we go. You may use Form 912 to request a fee waiver for any of the following benefit requests or services. I-90, great. I-131, I-92, 192, excuse me, a 290B, a 485, E. Okay, let's go over to the other column. 485, 539, 601, 751. Uh-oh, it doesn't look like we're going to get the I-129F, huh? Biometric service fees in connection with any application. So that means that our form that we are doing is not included on this fee waiver. So we know then that the fee waiver is not available for us. Okay? And we keep going. Filed my application at a lockbox facility over 10 days ago and have now received a receipt notice. Who should I contact? Email us at lockboxsupport@dhs.gov. Include the form number, receipt number, if known, applicant name, and mailing address. Do not include A numbers or social security numbers in emails. Or call the National Customer Service Center. We're going to use this email address for sure, because what we're going to do is that if we haven't gotten a notification that the thing has been accepted, what we want to do is we want to make sure we send in the certified mail receipt showing that it was accepted, or the express mail. And you can download those off of the internet. So you can actually download them, hold them as a PDF, and then attach them to this email address, or scan them and attach them when you send in the email and show them that you actually sent it in. They will definitely pay more attention to it if they know that it's actually been delivered. Right? If you can prove that it's actually been delivered and has been accepted by them, then they can know what the problem is and better find it out. In fact, they have a contact name right there for the person who actually picked it up, so it will definitely help. Don't understand why the lockbox facility rejected my application. Who can help me? Well, if they reject an application, they're normally going to also give you a sheet of paper explaining why it was rejected. And so if you have a problem with that, lockbox support, okay, you can do that. We're going to get general information about forms and filing instructions. We know that. How can I check my case status? Use the case status online to check the status of your case. So what we're going to do is we're going to check the status of the case after we go through the procedures for getting it filed. So we'll do that later. How do I request a refund? Basically, don't even bother, because they're not going to give you a refund, but that's the way to request it. How do I withdraw an application or petition? Okay. Write to the USCI Service Center or field office processing your case. Do not send your request to a lockbox facility. So that is true. Withdrawing a petition is a legal issue, right? Because you have a petition, you have a beneficiary, there's someone else involved, and at the lockbox they're just throwing documents around. So it's at the service center where they're actually making the decision that those supervisors, those people, are going to actually process the withdrawal of your application in case the relationship breaks down. Where do I send a response to request for evidence or notice of intent to deny? So send your response to the office that requested the information, which is usually the service center or field office processing your case. Never send these items to a lockbox facility. You may miss important response deadlines by sending your response to the wrong address. And when you get a request for evidence or notice of intent to deny, it's a sheet of paper. It's going to have the reasons why it's been kicked back. Either you haven't signed the forms, something like that, or you fail to show that you have a intention to marry within the 90 days, you haven't met her in 2 years, and you have not provided a reason for you not meeting her within the last 2 years. Those are the types of things you'll get these documents, request for evidence or a notice of intent to deny, has the whole thing listed on there along with the deadline to actually send in your documents. How do I change my address? Change your address online or mail form AR11. Change of address to this address. That's really important to change the address, people. Absolutely. And procedurally, keep those addresses updated. I mailed my application to the wrong location. Will you forward it? We will forward most applications to the correct location. That's true. Will USCIS accept forms that are missing information as long as the basic information is completed? So this is something the lawyers do sometimes, is that a deadline's coming, we got to get something filed. We may not give all the information. yet about an applicant or a fiancé, and just to get it logged in, just to get it filed. But it's not really good practice. And so, but what they say is each form has certain fields that are required to process our business rules. Calculate the correct fee and determine your reason for filing. If you complete the required fields, submit the required initial evidence, sign your form, and pay the correct fee, we will accept your application. However, even if information is not required to initially accept your form, missing information could delay the adjudication process. Absolutely. So it's important you complete the entire form and submit the initial evidence listed in the form instructions. So in a situation like that, as soon as possible, I would supplement the application. So if they accept it with just the basic information on it, they send me a receipt notice, then I have a tracking number, I've got a receipt notice, and I'm going to send my supplemental information with the receipt notice that I have, tracking notice, send it on into the service center who's actually deciding the case at that point. And then the lockbox service provider will sort your application in the correct processing order. However, we recommend assembling your package as follows: check or money order, G1145 request for e-notification, the G28 if applicable. This is the G28. This is the form for attorneys. The attorneys will actually sign, and they indicate that they are representing you. They have the right to call on your behalf, follow up your case on your behalf, do all that stuff. Form being filed, okay, and then the supporting documentation. If an application is rejected, we return it to the attorney or the applicant. If the application was filed within a valid Form G28 notice of entry of appearance of attorney or creditor representative, we'll return to the attorney and send a rejection notice to both the attorney and the applicant. If not, the applicant will receive the rejected application and notice. So it does happen. I mean, we're not perfect. We get the applications rejected sometimes. And it's embarrassing because a lot of times they'll send it, even if we have a G28 on file, they'll send it to the client. And the client calls me up. What's going on? I got my package. And I'm like, oh no. I try not to cuss in front of my clients, but it's always a surprise. We talk about paying an integrity refund. Sorry, we said we'd file it. We didn't. Pay you $100 and beg for your forgiveness. Okay, great.